What's going on, Tiger fans? This is Brennan DuBose with Memphis Baseball. Yeah, so I first began playing baseball pretty much on our cul-de-sac. I have an older brother who's been a huge influence to me in the sport of baseball. At first, it wasn't really my first love. I kind of played a lot of soccer, I guess. I was a goalie, not very good or anything. Then I kind of transitioned into baseball, kind of, I guess, wanted to be like my older brother. Never played t-ball, went straight into machine pitch. Actually, funny story, I began as a catcher, and I couldn't really catch the ball too well, and I kept getting hit on the inside of my legs. So I ended up moving to the infield, and then later on decided I could catch again. But yeah, I kind of just wanted to be like my brother. We played on the cul-de-sac. We used the mailboxes as our bases and whatnot as we ran around. So that's definitely what, I guess that's where my love for the game began. Yeah, so growing up, I was a huge Cardinals fan. So obviously, what my opinion of the greatest catcher of all time is Yadier Molina. He had an amazing arm. He obviously stopped the run game basically by himself during his career. So I definitely grew up, had his poster on the wall, him and Albert Pujols. Those are definitely my two favorite players, but tried to early on mimic my game after Yadi. He's the greatest to ever do it, so pretty good guy to try and mimic. I would probably say Randy Johnson, just the fact that he's probably the greatest to ever do, one of the greatest to ever do it, and just overpowering. I mean, pretty fun to catch people striking a lot of guys out, and nobody did it better than him. I would say probably him or Pedro Martinez, just like a real vet up there, you know, just a guy that always got the job done. So, I don't know, pretty cool. I wouldn't want to call it whenever he hit the bird. That would have been kind of, I don't know, kind of scary, I guess, for a ball to be hitting a bird as it's flying across. So that would have been an interesting thing. But I would probably have to go with Randy Johnson, just the sheer power to be able to control all that. That'd be sweet. Adam Wainwright, I guess, of those same Cardinal players, just like a guy I watched a lot growing up. Obviously tried to watch the Cardinals as much as I could, just to see kind of how I'd do against that. I don't know. He obviously has the huge curveball who's gotten everybody out. Obviously later in his career wasn't like the most overpowering guy, but just to be able to feel like, you know, how he's been so successful, and obviously try and get a crack at it myself, that I'd definitely probably take Wainwright. I don't know, I would probably say 3 years ago against Ole Miss, at Ole Miss. We did end up losing, but I guess I'm a guy who kind of struggled for a while. I was never really super successful up until basically right now in my time at Memphis. And as confidence is such a big thing in baseball, against Ole Miss, while they were ranked #1 in the country, I hit my first ever career home run. So that was kind of like a moment for me where I gained a lot of confidence, kind of allowed me to feel like, okay, I can get this done. I belong here. I can compete with these people. So I think from a personal, my own personal gain, just seeing that be done, kind of seeing to believe, I guess, that was big for me. Just being able to sense that, okay, I can hang with these guys regardless of who I'm on the field with. Yeah, that probably left the biggest impact in my playing career. Yeah, and then obviously we've had some big wins throughout the time, and those are great. But personally, definitely the game against Ole Miss. Yeah, just the speed of the game, obviously. Whenever I first showed up in Memphis, it was like I was in a blender back there. And obviously being a catcher, you're kind of the one that's supposed to be the one guy with a slow heartbeat. And I hope I hit it well early in my career, but I was definitely not that guy. It took me so long, and I think now, being in my 5th year, this is the first time where I've truly felt like at peace behind the plate, and like the game's just slowed down a ton. I try and allow others to, you know, kind of grow in the moments that they can, and like allow them to, hey, this is a learning moment. And I think I've had people you know, that were mentors to me that have allowed that to happen. But yeah, the speed of the game, just how quick decisions have to be made. Obviously, everything's moving along faster anyway, but just more like the time between pitches, the aggression of the runners, things of that nature. But But yeah, just the speed of the game, boy, it feels quick when you come from high school. Obviously, it takes dedication. You're not going to be able to procrastinate. You're not going to be able to cheat and take the easy way out. That's not going to work out for you in the long run. I guess my one biggest piece of advice would be to surround yourself by the ones that are also focused on academics. It's easy to get in a locker room and be surrounded by people that are there for sport, just like you are. But obviously, as you're that person that is in a maybe more serious major, you have to take, you're going to have to celebrate some games in the library. I was definitely there before, and I don't know, I would just surround yourself with the people that are the right influences. Obviously, easier said than done when the people that are around you are pretty much picked for you, but there's a lot of athletes that have hard majors, and then obviously there's those people in class that you can get around and, be willing to talk to professors, things of that nature. But yeah, it's dedication. You're not going to be able to go to all the parties. You're not going to be able to have all the, fun social events. You're going to have to say no to some of that, and that's okay. And later on, it's a pretty fulfilling feeling to walk across the stage with a major that you know is impressive and everybody else in there knows is impressive. Obviously, the brotherhood, I think, is by far the greatest part of it. You come here and it's just 40 people you don't know, and you leave here, and I guess now I'm 5 years into it. I've probably played with 80 other people maybe, and that's 80 people that you can rely on. You relied on them then. You were kind of in the trenches with them, I guess, if you would. And yeah, those are guys you can rely on, and when things get rough, those are guys you can call. Obviously, the brotherhood's great. Being able to represent Memphis is pretty cool, just kind of having that, like, grind city mentality, kind of being a tough neck kind of guy, and trying to embody that. And as Skip always tells us, we got to be those tough guys. We got to put on, we got to represent our city. And I think that's a pretty cool thing. And just the fact that the people in Memphis love the city of Memphis. And I think a lot of times you go to some schools and it's just, you just don't feel that. I know whenever I came on my visit, it was, obviously things you see on your visit or, they're kind of put there for you or whatever. But every place we went in, it was like, there's a Memphis logo on the wall. Here's, former athletes who have eaten at this restaurant or whatever. It's just like you can sense that the city of Memphis is fully bought in on the University of Memphis and Memphis athletics. And that's great. I don't think you can't put a price on that, and I don't think there's many schools in the country that can replicate that. Yeah, so a lot of that obviously comes in preparation. Is like I just left practice a little bit ago, and we're working on just how our defense operates and things, making sure everybody's on the same page. I think a lot of it is obviously on each individual person, just their own preparation and everything, but obviously being that guy that can see when things are out of place. It's kind of like we always say, we're the only person on the field that everybody's looking at. Obviously, we can see the whole thing. It is our responsibility if people are out of position, we're the first person they look towards. I think a lot of that, like I spoke on it a little bit ago, was like being sped up. That was hard for me at first to be able to, there's a fourth-year guy out there playing short. Can I, as a freshman, get on to him? That wasn't a thing that I did a ton early on, but now, obviously, the game's just, I don't know, I pretty much feel at peace when I'm behind the plate and know how things, have a good sense for the game. So I think it obviously is just being able to see when things are out of place and making sure everybody's prepared, obviously knowing when to call a mound visit or when to communicate before the pitch is thrown, everything that kind of needs to happen. Understanding, I guess most of it's understanding how offense is run and in what situations the offense is going to do what things so we can be prepared for that. Obviously a ton of confidence boost. I did a bat flip, which is like, I don't know, it's kind of interesting. It's something that I'm like not for. I don't really support bat flipping even when it's for us. But it was just like such like a, I don't know, just a reaction almost. Like after I saw the video of it, I was like, no way that was me. Like the home run, yeah, I get that. But like the bat flip and the celebration, that's just like, it was just a reaction. I think like that, if that doesn't go to show just like how much we want to be out there, how much, we want to fight for each other. That's what I was talking to my brother after, and he was like, dude, I've never seen you react on something like that, like ever from a swing. Like I'm not the most powerful guy or anything, but just being able to, feel the ball come off the bat and just immediately know that's something I hope to replicate soon, multiple times. But yeah, it was a great feeling. Obviously, we came out with a win. It was a tie game at the time when that happened, so it was a big moment for us and a huge confidence boost for somebody like myself who hasn't always been the most offensive guy, but playing like one now and hope that we can keep that up based on that confidence. I think to all sports is consistency. I mean, if you know what kind of guy you're going to be every day, the coach understands who they're getting out of you. That's the main thing. But from a more skilled related to answer that, probably, I mean, hitting is obviously the most important. If you hit, you play. It doesn't really defense is important, especially being a catcher. But yeah, you got to learn how to hit. You got to be able to, I don't know, you don't have to hit over the whole plate. You just got to you pick out about half of the plate to hit on, and that's fine. You got to be on time for the fastball, and just being on time, be consistent, and understand your swing. That's pretty much the most. If you can do that, you can play. You can play at any level. Yeah, defense is important, but the people that get big scholarships are the ones who hit the ball a long way. So I would say, yeah, I mean, I enjoy playing for Riser, and that's not to say I didn't enjoy playing for Coach Jackson. He was huge. Me and him have had I sat in his office plenty of times, and we had some long discussions about personal growth, growth on the field, things of that nature. Coach Jackson came from a background of professional baseball. He was very it's your responsibility. I'm going to coach you along the way. And he did that very well. That's why he's at Missouri now. He did his job very well. Coach Riser's a little bit different in it's going to be more intent. Where Coach Jackson, you come from professional baseball, you're kind of hands off. These guys, this person's profession. It's on them. And Skip's a little bit different, where I'm going to be intent. Our whole coaching staff is going to be intent. We're going to be very, very hands-on. And that has been huge for me. I think from a coach-player relationship, obviously, the more you can be around getting instruction, just having that guy as a mentor there for you was huge. And I think that's big for our morale, obviously. Right now we're 7-7. I think that's not a great reflection of how big of an impact Coach Riser's been to our program. And another thing is we probably have the youngest coaching staff in the country. I don't know, that's not a stat I know or anything, but I think Coach Riser's 38, our two assistants are maybe 35 and below, and then we have 3 guys on staff who this is their first coaching experience. So it's almost like you have a respect for them, but they understand that, they were just in your shoes months ago, literally. The guy who's Coach Manola, he's over me pretty much as a catcher. We played against him last year. So it's interesting seeing those things. I guess, the world works in mysterious ways. Obviously, we didn't know then that the guy that, is on the other, the guy that was catching against me is now my coach. And that's okay. I don't truly remember him too much or anything like that. It's not like I look at him as a player. He's very professional about how he goes about things. But it's been huge that they're young, understand, and yeah, they're very intense and hands-on. Yeah, everything's off the field. We can do our T3 Iron Will Challenge. That's good. Everybody, we need to know that when, things get rough, that we have tough guys that can go through things like that. But just really building a brotherhood, that happens off the field, whether it be going to football games, whether it be, just recently we had a guy get baptized and the whole entire team showed up for his baptism. So those are the kind of things that live on forever. I think Coach Riser's been great in incorporating alumni into what we're trying to do here. And, just building that brotherhood, not from just the guys that you played with, but guys who have been in your situation before. But yeah, whether it be, going to a party together, whether it be going to the grocery store or cooking something. It can really be anything. But I think that happens off the field 100%. In the fall, it was funny. They would tell us, don't show up to practice on Monday if you didn't do something fun with your teammates over the weekend. And obviously, they're not there to define what your version of fun is, or, watching a movie or going out golfing. Obviously, I think all baseball players like to golf on their off days. But yeah, we got a group of people that do that. And I think those are the times when it's like you really understand how to, hold people accountable, even though they are your friends and everything. But just learning how to communicate with each other and, learning about people's family and whatnot, that obviously grows your relationship. I would definitely rather hit for the cycle. I guess to a certain extent, I've, not to be cockier, but I've marked the Grand Slam off my checklist, I guess. Not that a cycle is something I'm chasing a bunch. I think that comes from obviously doing things the right way. But yeah, if you can have 4 hits in a day, you're pretty much set for the next week on your average and everything. And as much as we're not supposed to look at stats or chase results like that, that's a result that, you're going to stay on the field for a while. Your average is going to be boosted for a while. You're probably going to be an honor roll candidate that week. So yeah, I'm going to have to take the 4 for 4 with the cycle. Bam he's a good candidate for hitting for the cycle, because I think in my time, obviously we've been here together for 5 years. I don't know how many, I think I might have seen him hit more two-hit games than just hitting a single or something like that. It seems like when he hits, it's like he's going 3 for 5 that day. So I'm not shocked that he said 4 for 4. Golf. That's the easiest question for baseball players, I feel like. I think most people on their off day want to go play golf anyway, so if we could do it every day, yeah, that'd be great. Obviously, obviously still swinging and everything, it's I feel like it'd be a terrible transition, honestly. I was about to say an easy transition, but it definitely wouldn't be. Pretty frustrating, I guess, at times. But yeah, I would definitely take golf. I mean, I think my baseball career's, I guess, soon to be over, so I'm probably about to get into golf anyway. So I guess that's something I've really thought about here recently. Yeah, I do. It's just Dubs. It's just the first 3 letters of my last name. I guess it's easier than DuBose, but yeah, I don't. It wasn't, and I never really had a nickname growing up or anything like that, but Dubs. I ended up getting it put on the side of one of my gloves. I guess I was tired of putting 34 on them, so I was like, I'll just put my name on it. It's pretty short and to the point. But I think pretty much now everybody on the team, I rarely get a Brennan, or sometimes if I mess up, I get a DuBose, you know what I mean? But most of the time, Dubs is what I go by. But no, I don't. It was definitely, I remember it. It was a Nike glove. It was tan. It had a basket web on it, and it was tan and black, but I'm sure it's probably was given to Goodwill, or maybe we were a big yard sale. We always had a yard sale growing up, so maybe it helped grow the game for people in the neighborhood beyond me. But yeah, it's definitely, Lord knows where that thing is nowadays. Yeah, I just catch over and over and over. I don't beat it with a mallet. I don't catch off the machine. Just very aware of where I'm catching the ball. That's pretty much the biggest thing. A lot of guys early on, you get caught catching the ball in the web when that's really not at all what you want to do as a catcher specifically. We want to create a pocket that's I guess really between your pointer finger and thumb. So just when I'm catching, try and be very aware of where I'm trying to catch the ball at. And then after a while, it pretty much forms itself to be the deepest part of your glove, and it just kind of naturally goes there. But yeah, just try and catch as much as possible. Obviously, catching bullpens isn't really, it's not the most exciting thing you can do, but if you have another reason of being down there to break your glove in, that makes it a little bit more enjoyable. When you come in off winter break and it's okay, I have to get this glove ready now. And yeah, so the bullpens definitely help. But yeah, just playing catch with it. It's funny, we were watching Bam's interview, and he said Shane and Dave, and those are both of my roommates. So that was just interesting that's how it worked out. Most likely to talk their way out of trouble. I don't know. I think Compton would be a interesting one that not many people not many people would say that. I think he would have a way of, he would like guilt trip you into believing him almost. Like he's just such a genuine guy that you're like, you know, I don't think he would lie in the first place or anything like that. But I think he would be able to talk his way out of it. And then maybe, I don't know, I feel like Jonah Sutton, he'll make it really, really technical somehow on you. He's obviously, like, he's a super smart guy, engineering major, but like he would just spin your head around so much that you'd be like, you know what, you're right. So I think, yeah, Compton would kind of get you with make you feel good about it, and then Jonah, he would just make you feel like you're in a blender almost, and you'd be like, yeah, you're right. I don't even know how to argue that point. I'm probably taking Logan Rushing. That's a guy, we've lived together previously. We went and played summer ball together, but I feel like he's got that tough mentality, kind of would, you know what, this is the conditions we were given. And then, you know, if we got to build a shelter or something like that, he's not afraid of work. So I'm probably taking him, and not to mention he's hilarious. So like, if we're in a messed up situation, he'll at least like, I guess, find how it could be funny. I don't really know how being stuck on an island would be too funny, but I feel like we would probably fight at some point, but it would all be in good fun. Just like, I don't know, we're like brothers almost at this point. But yeah, I'm probably taking him just because I don't think he'd be a big complainer in that situation, and probably, you know, being negative in a situation like that is probably not good. Or maybe like Seth Garner, just old country boy that like, he'll probably find a way for us to get off of it. I don't know. Like another guy just like, I don't know. I'd probably take him too, but yeah, probably Logan would be my first choice. I really do neither, honestly, which is that's a cold take for baseball players. If I'm going to go with something, probably gonna go with gum. I don't know, I just feel like being parched during a game, like, oh, that's the worst. Gum and sunflower seeds aren't that good to be parched during a game. Like, I don't know, I'm more just like a drink as much water and Gatorade as I can during a game. But yeah, but I would definitely choose gum over sunflower seeds, I believe. But I don't know, they're making like crazy flavors these days with the sunflower seeds where like, I don't even know. I think yesterday we were in the dugout and people were eating lemon pepper sunflower seeds. Since when do they make stuff like that? Like, let me just get a piece of spearmint. Come on now, I don't want a lemon pepper, or they probably got cotton candy, or there was like another red bag. I can't even remember what flavor it was. It was like apple pie or something. Like, that's not what sunflower seeds are supposed to taste like. Give me the original, maybe the buffalo. I think they got like a Taco Bell one that's pretty good these days. A bacon one, that's like, come on, we're not going any further than that. Yeah, but gum, yeah, just give me a piece of Trident. Like, we'll take that. The mullet, obviously, I'm not a big hair guy. Obviously, being a catcher, I like sweat a ton and everything like that, helmet on and off. So I try to just go with the most simple thing I can go with. I think the mullet fell out of style some years ago. I think now it's got a new age to it. They call it the flow. And it's kind of just like a baseball player thing. I think we got some like, Shane Cox, Will Marcy.
Is that the flow?
Oh yeah, Dalton Fowler here. This is a picture from last year. Yeah, Dalton Fowler, that's the flow, but that's not mullet though. Mullet is like if you had this on the sides but that in the back, and no, we can't do that. Yeah, I'm not with the mullet. Maybe for some guys. Oh, I guess CJ Willis, he almost has a mullet, but it's really more like flow when you put a baseball hat on. But yeah, I'm not with the mullet. That was kind of like that's before our time. Oh yeah, where they're like almost see-through and I think the names are like smaller. I don't know, I haven't looked a ton into it, but yeah, I like, our uniforms, sometimes we get like ones that have fake buttons and things. I assume the new uniforms are kind of that same thing, but we finally got one this year that's got like the real buttons, got the real feel, like kind of a little thicker. Yeah, that's definitely better. You want to kind of go out there and feel like it's, I'm not trying to play in an undershirt, so like, I need something to cover me up. But yeah, I've seen some pictures that look awful. Like you can see people's, you don't want to be seeing people sliding shorts and things under. I always find that it makes me mad when you can see where say you got some white pants on, but you got a blue jersey tucked into it and you can see through it. That's a terrible look. And like, I don't know. Or like, for instance, I know like this would be a thing they have to think about now. They got see-through pants on if they like wearing black compressions. they got to get white ones now because it's just going to look odd. So yeah, that's pretty messed up. I guess I think they used to have Majestic jerseys. Those were like, you know, super high quality and everything. And then the last names look just odd. Like, I don't know, it just doesn't look right. They're real small now. So yeah, that's a no-go, I'm sure. I assume they'll probably make a change here shortly, just because of the kind of backlash they've received. So probably Tyler Heckert. That's definitely my answer. We're the only people on the team from Nashville, or like, you know, at least the Nashville region, and he's a great dude. And then my second would be Compton. They're like the two best people on our team. Obviously, like I said, Compton's really like never one to get in trouble or anything like that. Like, those are two guys that, you know, without a doubt are gonna treat her right and everything like that. So yeah, I'm definitely taking them. And I know Heckert has a girlfriend, has for a long time, and I think anyway, I won't get into his personal life. But anyway, he is somebody I know for a fact treats women the right way. So I'm taking Compton and Heckert 100%. I'm probably Ryan Hunter. Yeah, probably Ryan Hunter, maybe. I don't know. That'd probably be who I'd choose. Just
Meet him at the door with a gun and go, "I'm sorry, no."
Yeah, no, it ain't. It's probably Ryan Hunter. It's like he's always in the middle of something in the locker room. Like, he's always in the middle of a debate or something. Like, today we were in there arguing, and it's just like, oh, Ryan, why are you? He always wants to be debating something. I don't want somebody that's always debating something. You know, you don't need to be arguing with my made-up sister. But yeah. But I love Ryan to death, don't get me wrong, but yeah, he always wants to argue with somebody, so yeah, maybe don't argue with my made-up sister. Personally, I know we've gone over these like as a team and everything, but I think for me specifically, obviously being a fifth year, it's more about putting, you know, life back into the program with the new staff and everything. How I've described it is kind of change how we're viewed in our conference and in the country in general. Obviously, my first 4 years here were not very successful, and that's just the truth. If I'm not willing to accept that, then I'm just not an honest guy. But yeah, kind of change that, gain some respect within the country, and then obviously personally just be able to pour back into the people that, you know, are on our team, and that I can hopefully give them some lessons that I've learned the hard way, and allow them to just learn them through me rather than through experiencing making bad decisions, which, you know, I've made plenty of mistakes. I've sat the bench a ton. I've, you know, played in big moments, and, you know, I think you learn a lot from that. You're humbled through that, you know, being responsible, being the guy that they can go to. Obviously, I'm one of those guys now as a upperclassman, and I think just, you know, understanding that there's a, you know, open criticism and everything's not always bad. You know, it can be constructive criticism. And I'm not trying to be that guy that's always rude or that guy that always just calls people out. But if it's going to allow you to learn that lesson quicker, then I'll be that guy, you know. Yeah, that's the biggest thing, is just help the younger guys and try and gain some respect for our program. Yeah, so this is Carrick Jackson, obviously last year. This is one that I'm pretty outspoken guy. I do have, I have a relatively large voice on our team. Just being like a fifth year, I think I've somewhat earned that, somewhat talked my way into it. Now, kind of becoming able to play my way into that kind of role. But it's that perception is reality. Guys don't always know exactly where you're coming from. Coaches don't always know exactly where you're coming from, but kind of understanding, putting yourself in other shoes to kind of view yourself. That was one that you know, as I mentioned earlier, I had a lot of conversations with him growing personally and on the field, and that was one that he hammered home to me, and, you know, I'm truly indebted to him for that reason alone. Just understanding that as a leader going forward, obviously as I move into, you know, entering the workforce, as I might lead people one day, that perception is reality 100%. You know, it's kind of like the saying, people don't care what you know unless they know how much you care. And it's kind of that. And being able to sell yourself in that regard, that you are, you know, you're a good person, you mean you know, I guess like you say what you mean and you mean what you say, but you know, understanding that people are going to have an impact on how you say it and things of that nature. But yeah, perception is reality. After college, I've accepted a job at the Kiewit Corporation, where I'm going to be a field engineer in the South Central District, which is anywhere from the Rocky Mountains to the Mississippi River, and then also Tennessee and Kentucky. So I'll be traveling around a little bit. They're a general contractor. They're one of North America's largest construction and engineering firms. So I'll be building bridges or roads, petroleum. They do like a lot of petroleum, oil refinery things, wastewater treatment plants, just heavy civil projects. So, you know, maybe don't honk at that guy who's holding a stop sign on the side of the road. It might be me, or maybe that'll be a reason to honk at me. But yeah, we're trying to improve the city and improve communities in general. So, you know, be that guy. And yeah, so I'm going to work as an engineer, I guess. No, I'm not a new age Swiftie. I can't say I've listened to any of her new music, but obviously she was from Hendersonville, so I did listen to like her old stuff, like Love Story. Come on, I'm definitely listening to that. But yeah, funny you asked that. Today we were in the weight room and somebody came up and was like, "Oh, you're trying to be like Travis Kelce with your haircut," when in all reality, it was just the lady at Sports Clips cut it down a little too low. You know, I still trust them. I'll go back to Sports Clips again, but she did cut me up pretty short. But yeah, I'm not a new age Swiftie, but I definitely am a Taylor Swift fan if it's her old stuff. Hey Tiger fans, thank you for watching my 901 Fun interview. Go Tigers, go.